Hey, Brickmaniacs, we're coming back to you again, giving you a closer look at the USS Johnston Fletcher-class destroyer. So I know we kind of did a live release of this yesterday, but we're trying to give you just a little bit closer look at this because this is a very, very impressive kit, something like 47 inches long, so a great piece for your mantle. Available now as a pre-order on brickmania.com. Right now through midnight, the Mad Minute sale is still active, but also specifically for this destroyer, we're going to have a coupon available throughout the next week for 20% off that. That coupon code is TINCAN20. So if you're going to pre-order the destroyer, make sure to use that at checkout. Dan, this is a very, very impressive model. You want to kind of walk me through this again, just a little bit about the history and why you decided to choose this one?
Sure. Well, the USS Johnston was a Fletcher-class destroyer. In World War II, it was part of the Pacific Fleet, and specifically picked this ship because it was kind of it played a pivotal role in the Battle of Samar, which was a Pacific battle, a part of the Philippine, liberation of the Philippine campaign.
Sure.
So it was October 1944, October 25th, 1944 to be exact. While the U.S. landings were happening in Leyte Gulf in the Philippine Sea, the USS Johnston was part of Taffy 3. It's a Task Force Taffy 3 that was actually supporting the troop landing and defending the landing ships. This is massive amphibious assault going on. The Japanese launched a massive three-prong attack to try to, one, lure Admiral Halsey away, his fleet away from the landing site, leave it undefended, and then two, they sent actually another diversionary force to the south and another force to disrupt the beach landings. And the Japanese actual plan worked. They were actually able to lure Halsey away. He took most of his battleships and most of his aircraft carriers, running way up north into the Philippine Sea to chase after what were essentially a diversionary Japanese fleet, leaving the landing beaches pretty much undefended except for the escort carriers and the escorts for the escort carriers, which happened to be a few destroyers and destroyer escorts. So when this happened, on the morning of, or on the day of October 25th, out of the mist looms this gigantic, it was called the Center Force, this gigantic fleet of Japanese battleships, heavy cruisers, led by the IJN Yamato, which was a just monster battleship.
Pride of the Japanese fleet.
Right. They appear in within sight distance of this task force, the Taffy 3, basically surprise anybody that this force is even there. And immediately upon these Japanese force appearing, the USS Johnston, it was commanded by Commander Ernest Evans.
Yep.
He said, without orders, he actually just turned his ship directly at the Japanese fleet with the idea that they would lay a smoke screen so the American escort carriers would be able to get away. And these escort carriers weren't fast ships. These were ships that were there to aid the Marines on the ground, the Army troops on the ground during the invasion. And they weren't armed with any sort of anti-ship weapons.
Sure.
They had really minimum 5-inch guns, which against a battleship is nothing. So the destroyers were ordered to make a smoke screen, go to attack, basically put themselves between the Japanese forces. This ship in particular, Ernest Evans, before there was actually official orders from the task group commander, he just turned towards the Japanese and charged the Japanese fleet. So, in that ensuing battle, the Johnston, the Hull, the Samuel B. Roberts, they were all sunk in action, lost in action.
Sure.
The commander, Ernest Evans, was awarded posthumously the Medal of Honor for his decisions. His decisions and the ferocity that these tin cans of this destroyer showed against the much superior Japanese force earned them a highly respected place in naval history, and not only that, saved hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. If the Japanese fleet, they basically put their lives on the line, prevented the Japanese fleet from actually reaching the landing beaches, and in the process, 2 destroyers, a destroyer escort, and the aircraft carrier San Lo were lost. But it could have been much worse.
Sure.
In the end, the Japanese turned away, and kind of the day was saved, but unfortunately not without the loss of this ship and 3 others.
So an incredible story of sacrifice, and obviously one a decision that was made kind of in an instant of this is our job. We're going to take it on head on, and what a cool tribute to something like this. So tell me a little bit about how this project came to be, because as I understand, this started off as a project for the U.S. Navy.
Yes. So we were approached by the United States Navy History and Heritage Command to put together a ship that they could bring around as a display, and that is what this model is based on. So they particularly asked for the USS Johnston. Of course, we have the Ernest Evans mosaic in our GHQ store, so we're familiar with the story, and I jumped. I was like, yes, of course we're going to make this ship. What better ship? If I'm going to make a ship for the Navy, I'm going to make the USS Johnston. That's the original Johnston, DD 557. So this is a Fletcher-class, not to be confused with the later another Johnston, a Gearing-class Johnston, which was actually after this one sank, another ship was named in its honor.
Okay.
So, which is common in the U.S. Navy.
But an incredible piece of history nonetheless, an incredible story just initially, and then a really amazing kit to go with it. So this is the one that was made for the U.S. Navy, but we are also releasing 50 kits online. Well, actually not anymore, because we opened up pre-sales yesterday, so they're already going fairly fast. And so you can get on that and have a chance to own your own piece of Brickmania and United States naval history in this really cool tribute. And it looks fantastic. Plenty of moving parts. We'll have a full review video a little bit later once we get all the printed elements done. This is just a prototype we have in front of us here, so we'll be able to go through the kit and kind of analyze a little bit more of all the features of that.
There will be a product release video as normal. The cool thing about this, I mean, this is a late Fletcher-class destroyer, and by late meaning towards the end of the war they started streamlining production techniques. So it has a square superstructure. It is distinctive of several Fletcher-class destroyers that are actually still in existence as museum ships.
Wow.
So this ship will come with printed tiles for the DD 557 that will be for the USS Johnston, but we're going to include a sticker sheet that will have alternative numbers. So if you wanted to do the USS Kidd or the USS Cassin Young, which is actually it's in Boston Harbor, you will be able to actually make those other ships.
Wow!
You don't have to do the USS Johnston. Of course, you can always make your own stickers. There's a lot of more than 100 of these Fletcher-class destroyers made during World War II.
Okay, so yeah, if you have one that's a little bit more personal to you, obviously we'll give you some options along with the printed tiles, but then you can customize it in your own way as well, which is pretty standard for a Brickmania kit as well. But this is one of the more impressive spreads, and I think that's kind of why we, such a limited amount, we wanted to really open it up to people initially and see what kind of interest was there. So once again, we have the Mad Minute sale running through midnight tonight, 11:59 technically, but then also after that for these next week until they're gone, we will be able to have the Tin Can 20, use that coupon code at checkout. That is good for 20% off just this kit, not your entire order, just this kit. But get them while they last, and what a cool piece of history, Dan. Thank you for creating this.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it. This is a great project.
All right, cool. Well, stay tuned for more. As I said, we'll have another full review video coming up in the near future here, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, Dan, thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching.